and today I'm here to show and also tell you what a terrarium is and how to make one. I chose this demonstration because it was a fun project I had done previously with my mom. So this is what ours looked like when we did it before. So to put it simply, a terrarium is a glass container for growing and displaying plants. And today I will be showing you how to make one. To begin, the materials you will need are fairly a lot. So the first material you need is a clear, open or closed glass container, and I've chose this one today. I have sand, rocks, moss, activated charcoal pellets, soil, plants, as well as a spoon or scoop to help easily put my materials in. And optional small decorations that can really make your terrarium pop. So now on to step one. I'm going to quickly move these back over here so I have one to show everyone. So the first step is choosing your glass container. So for reference, there are multiple shapes. Say, as an example, there's this shape and this shape, completely different. But as you can see, they're both open. There are also containers that can be closed with lids. But I am not going to be showing a closed container here because I haven't made one before. So, although I haven't made one before, I will discuss aspects of both in this demonstration for just in case anybody wants to make one at home. So first, closed terrariums are self-contained and only need outside care on occasion. Open terrariums are open to the air and better suited for plants like cacti and succulents, which I have over here. So on to step two. We're already moving along quite fast here. This is the first layer of material. So this layer is called the drainage layer. And for this layer, any porous material will do. So for this layer, I'm actually using two materials, sand and pebbles. And I'm going to try my best to mix them so it flattens the layer out and leaves room for the many other layers we're going to have to add in. So let me just put these. So this layer is going to have to cover 1 to 2 inches of the bottom of the container. So I'm going to have to put fairly a lot, and I might as well just dump in the rest. So this layer is, once you're putting it in, you want to try to put it in as flat as possible so you have enough room to easily put in the rest of the many layers you're going to have to add in. So I'm going to try to make this as flat as I can, and I think that will do it. It is a little less than 1 to 2 inches, but that is okay. So you can get these items at any craft store fairly easily, or if you can't find any by any chance, dollar store is always open. Well, not always, but this layer is very important to reduce the risk of root rot and help store moisture in the container that could, after you haven't watered it for a long time, it could easily just. And the third step, layer 2, is activated charcoal pellets. This layer is completely optional if the container you chose does not have a lid. It's a highly recommended step for closed containers. But although it says closed containers, I will still be using it in this open container garden. And this material is very easy to get your hands very dirty, so I'm going to be exclusively using the scoop here. And I don't think it really matters how much you use, just how much you think is appropriate and will help keep your terrarium safe. So, like I I said, it's a highly recommended step for closed containers because it helps remove any toxins or odors that are trapped in the container. This material can be found at any pet store with an aquatic fish section. So we got ours at a pet store, like I said. And this could be quite hard to find. So if you need to ask an assistant for help, that's what we did. It's fairly easy once they help you. So fourth step is moss. This is honestly my favorite step because of how pretty it looks. So the moss is fairly easy to find. You can find it at any plant nursery, florist, or even just order it online, which is what we did. So this layer, the moss, helps collect moisture in the container. So I already have a perfectly good piece right here. I'm just going to add that in. And a tip for this, you might want to just find, like if the moss you have does have a big patch that you can just fit perfectly, I would recommend doing that instead of ripping it all apart, which I have to resort to now because I can't find a bigger piece. But anyway, you're gonna, like before, we're gonna let it take up the whole bottom, and we're gonna let it be as flat as possible. So this helps collect moisture in the container for the plants, and it helps soil from washing through to the bottom layers. And this spray bottle, which I have here, it's perfect, absolutely perfect for like easily watering it. And so, like I said, soil. The next layer I have here is the main attraction, I guess, for this. Oh, okay. Anyway. So soil is the main anchor for the plants. It's where the plants will grow, and it helps provide the nutrients that the plants will need. So I'm going to use the scoop again, and we're just going to add in as much as we possibly can, as much as we think that it'll help the plants grow easily. If there's any chunks like I just had there, just easily crush it up. And the soil can be found at any big box store, any hardware store that has a gardening section. It's so easy to find sometimes, and I think that looks good. So now that the soil's done, the next step is the plants. This is the main attraction, I meant to say. So the plants that I have right now are completely fake, and it's unfortunate that we have to resort to fake plants because our Amazon delivery got delayed so far back. So the type of plants that you use are completely up to you and depends on whether or not your terrarium is an open or closed type. So because I have an open type here, I tend to use succulents, cacti, like I have here, and you can basically say these are succulents and cacti, or whatever you want. So the succulents and cacti are perfect for open container gardens, which allow for a drier climate, and a closed container terrarium becomes better suited for tropical plants like ferns, miniature ivies, orchids, and begonias. And after you've placed the plants in, like I have here, hang on. So after you've placed the real plants in, okay, you can choose to add in small decorations like I have here, small cute little mushroom thing, and a watering can, and these are completely optional. And also, this is a great thing to add on top again because it just makes it look so much better, in my opinion. Like, it adds a whole new texture to it. And And like I was saying, the fairy decorations are completely optional. If you think it could harm the plants, you just don't find any that suit your tastes, I guess you don't have to use them at all. But I like to use them because it really makes your terrarium look alive. So now that we're done with the terrarium, you may be thinking, well, what do you do now that it's done? Well, I have some tips to help take care of this homemade terrarium. Tip 1 is to be sure that it's not in direct sunlight. Well, you can keep it in sunlight, like that, I guess, but not direct sunlight because it could dry out the plants easily because of how quickly that can happen. So, second tip is on watering. Like I showed you before, watering the moss, you just use this spray bottle. You can get these literally anywhere. So 1 to 3 times is perfectly fine. You just don't water it a lot. You could have a huge risk of drowning the plants, and you do not want that at all. So next tip is for all the folks that chose a closed container. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way so I can talk about this. So to keep the terrarium nice and healthy, you're gonna wanna take the top of your container off every once in a while, like I guess. And the tropical plants that you keep in your closed container like to be watered, dried out, and then watered again, so they don't drown. And tropical plants grow fairly quicker than normal, so if you need to take them out and trim them every once in a while, that is perfectly fine. So next great tip, I'll take this back, is to rotate your terrarium so every angle of the container gets an ounce of sunlight, so more and more plants can even grow. So in conclusion, I'll show you here, I have shown you how to make a terrarium. The materials you will need are a glass container, your drainage layer, which includes sand, rocks, or even small pebbles, your activated charcoal layer, moss layer, soil layer, plant layer, and not shown on here, your scoop and extra decorations if you so please. So I will end up using this terrarium for decor once I do get the actual plants in. And I got my information from my mom and various websites on terrariums. That's all I have for this demonstration. I hope you enjoyed and have fun making your own.